god, what is all this shit? Ugh. Give me a second. Probably should have been more careful with that one. Raising Cane's, good place to eat. Fuck! That was sharp. That's a bit lower than I thought. Okay. Review time. Time's 3:05. Class 4:45. Let's get this shit done. What's on the schedule for today? Let me grab the boxes. Even though they're technically already unboxed. Here's what we got. Yes, I've already reviewed the FIO M11 on this. I got the replacement in, and spoiler alert, the screen is attached. Let me grab my supplies here. It also only has 26% battery, because I've been using it a lot today. So anyway, I've already unboxed this, so we'll save it for later. Here's the actual thing. It's going to sit here and look pretty, hopefully. Yeah, look at it. Anyway, Moondrop Blessing 2 Dusk. These are IEMs. That's going to fall. Let's see, these were $330. They're a retuning of the Moondrop Blessing 2. I was going to say Dusk after that again, but that would be a lie, because these are the Dusks. If you could tell, in the top right there, it's got like the Shenzhen, whatever logo, Moondrop technically, I guess. And then this little guy here called Critical. He's like an IEM reviewer. Check out his website, I guess. It's critical.com. I probably won't leave a link in the description. This is kind of like his collaboration with Moondrop, and they're really good Blessing 2s. He kind of like retuned them to fit, you know, maybe his kind of sonic preference. Sonic, yeah. I was staring at Sonic when I said that. But I mean, it still technically works for sound too. Just to basically suit his preferences a bit more. And it turns out that, you know, I think I would like those preferences a bit more versus the original, which is why I got these. It's got an anime girl on the front. It's actually, like, kind of looks like Critical. That's kind of like it's like a funny haha kind of thing. And it also kind of has like his setup. That's what she's holding. It's kind of cool, I guess. Anyway, open up the box and you got this. It looks kind of neat. Don't really care though. There we go, there's the rest of it. We get a colored picture, which also has the frequency response graph of the IEM. If you don't know how to read these, I don't care. There's technically not really much in here because, like I said, I've already unboxed it. What did it come with, though? I can't tell you because... Oh, there it is. So the IEMs themselves came with this little carrying case. It's really nice. It's really big, too. Like, I can fit, like, I have my little Apple dongle up there because I have an iPhone. I got my ES100 Bluetooth DAC. I can fit that in there. I can take these with their balance cable. This is not the stock cable. The stock cable's kind of shit. That's the one I actually had in the FIO M11 review. But anyways, I can take these. I can fit them in there. And it all fits really nicely. There's even room to spare, honestly. The IEMs came in this little foam thing. I don't really know why I kept that. Here we have a little Chinese thing that comes with pretty much anything that comes from China. Let's see. Can't read any of this, it's all in Chinese, but it's got a QR code on it. And there's also the user manual. Moondrop 2, actually, you know, I complained in the FIO M11 video how the user manual was just like this big old, like, fuck you piece of paper with only like one language I actually cared about in it. Moondrop Blessing 2 actually did the opposite of that. There's only one language on here. Unfortunately, that chosen language is Chinese, so I can't read a fucking thing of it. But, I mean, they're IEMs. If you don't know how to use them, probably shouldn't be buying them. It's also this that came with the cable to like wrap it up. I guess that's kind of nice. I guess I could show off the stock cable. Kind of lifting off the table with my chair. This is what it looks like. Why don't I like it? It tangles up really easily. That's pretty much it, honestly. But it's like more of an annoyance than what you think it would be. Because like this cable, I've never had this cable tangle on me once. No matter how shitty I put it, like, okay, it just tangled, but I don't care. You know, it's very minor tangle. Right, this one was like actually in knots, like just treating it the same way. This one would actually be in like knots that I would untie, and it's just kind of bothersome. It's also not very thick, it's very thin. Though this one's got a bit more substance to it. It's also kind of microphonic. If you don't know what that means, it's kind of like the cable noise that you hear. Like when you have your earbuds plugged in and like move the cable around, like that noise that you hear in your ears. That's kind of microphonics. It kind of has pretty bad microphonics. These are pretty good though. Yeah, that's about it for what comes with it. I think this just had the cable in it. Oh, it did come with extra filters for the thingamahickeys too, because they're just kind of glued on top, so when you're changing tips around they tend to come off, which is kind of like, whatever. They're not really necessary if you just keep your ears clean, so that's all they're there for, is keep earwax out of the IEMs. So I don't really care, because I keep my ears somewhat clean. Anyways, shove all this back in the box. The unboxing part really doesn't matter. Y'all came here for my sound analysis of it. Probably, I don't know. And I'm gonna like disappoint you by saying that I am in no way qualified to analyze the sound of an IEM. But I can tell you that I like it. I guess before we get to that, there are some other things to talk about, like the actual IEM itself. Here's how it looks. It's kind of pretty. It's got like a little something stainless steel, I think, back plate, which looks kind of nice. And you got like this 3D printed resin housing, which honestly is really cool, so you can like see the dynamic drivers and the balanced armatures in it. It just looks kind of slick. And the fit, if you have smaller ear canals, it might not be great, because like there's a really big nozzle. It's like 5.5 millimeters or something, whereas like my 10T4 is only 4 millimeters. That's like a bigger difference than what you think it would be, especially when you're trying to shove it in your ear canals. So some people with like smaller ones might have trouble, but they fit just fine for me. In fact, they just kind of seem to like disappear when I put them in my ears, like, you know, they're just kind of sitting there. But I'm also using like the smallest tips available though, so that is kind of something to consider. Like I don't think I'd be able to fit the bigger ones in there. Yeah. Pretty cool IEM to look at. Also pretty cool IEM to listen to, because that's a good transition. Basically, let me get my other IEMs. So here's what I got. Steady. I got 10 T4s, I got Campfire Audio, Orion CKs, and I got these Moondrop Blessing 2 Dusks. In order of, well, this is kind of the order of their price. I got these for $80, $250, $330. In terms of sound, I mean, it's kind of hard, because like this one is more neutral. Well, I should pull out the IM. Because like these ones have a really neutral sound to them. These ones I would say are more like fun, if I had to put it that way. They got a bit more bass and more treble to them. So it's not like neutral, but it's more fun to listen to, I would say. So when it was only these two, you know, I would definitely say that like I preferred listening to these ones more, but these ones had their place, you know? Like they were still like fun to listen to in their own right. But like You know, not on some like electronic dance music where it got a lot of bass, you know, because it just kind of sounded flat. But for like other things, like orchestral music, I really like listening to that on these versus these. These do have a bit more detail than these, and yada yada. But now that I have these, these are basically my favorites. Yeah, I would definitely choose these pretty much over the rest of them. Maybe not the Orions. The Orions might still have their place, but I would definitely say they are a kind of a direct upgrade to the 10T4s, which is okay because that's what these were just meant to start me out. You know, that's what I bought them for. They were a nice starter pair, and these are the upgrades, and they're really nice upgrades. Like, it's a clear step above in sound, because like after you spend so much, you get like diminishing returns, right? Like, you can buy $1,000 IEMs, you can buy $500 IEMs, and they're gonna sound like, you know, like they're gonna sound like this, the like level of detail and all that, it's not gonna be too far apart. And you'll be like, well, why did I spend $1,000 on these? Because of like diminishing returns and stuff. I think that these at $330 are pretty, I would say these are pretty well priced. I think they're definitely worth their money, and like, I feel like they are definitely, you know, $200 some more. They're worth $200 some more than my 10T4s. So let's talk about why, I guess. Like, aside from tuning, because like, you know, tuning, you can change that with equalize. You can change that with EQ if you want. You know, it's not something that you're really stuck by. With that being said, I fucking love the tuning on these. These sound amazing for pretty much anything I listen to. It's great sound. I don't have anything I would change about the way that these sound right out of the box. But like, if we wanted to get into technicalities, like the level of details that you hear, like, I don't want to do the old cop-out, like, oh, I hear details that I've never heard before with these. But I mean, I kind of do. Like, I think a big distinction is that, like, sure, if I try hard enough, I can hear the details on my 10T4s or my Orions, but it's not effortless, I would say. Like, the Blessing 2s, they just hand you the details, whereas for these ones, you kind of have to, like, fight for them, right? Like, you have to, like, actually be listening for them, whereas, you know, like I said, the Blessing 2s just kind of, you know, they're there. They're presented right to you. No effort at all. And that's, like, I would say the biggest distinction between them. Like, and it makes a very big difference. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying, oh, these aren't worth it, because I can still hear the details, but yeah, it's a big difference, honestly. You know, Friday, I was thinking of a lot of things to say for this, and I don't remember, like, any of them anymore. I think the detail thing, the analogy I just made, was pretty much the only thing I remember. Yeah, these sound great. Buy them. That's about all I got in terms of that. This video kind of sucks. So let's talk about the FIO M11 a bit more. So I finally got my new one in. It took forever. Like, they even had to delay it because of weather. But now that I have it again, you know, I'm able to say a few more things about it. Basically, it's still great. You know, now I've had it for more than a day, I can say things like, I can talk about things like the battery life. I would say the battery life is definitely better than my iPhone, which is actually why my iPhone is charging right now, because its battery is shit. I barely use it all day and it's already dying. Versus this, I've been listening to it all day. I started at like 30% and I'm only at 25%. I guess I was technically charging it. I went to 20% and then I charged it for like 2 minutes and it was up to 30% again. Because it's got USB-C fast charging, which is actually really nice. And the sound quality out of it, you know, it's great. Like I said, I've been able to listen to it a lot more, and I've just been able to appreciate it a lot more. I will say about the Wi-Fi, I mentioned before I wasn't able to get a clear opinion of it because of the mesh system that we have, and I have just one right in my room. But actually, the mesh system has caused some problems. Like, when I'm switching between them, it kind of like, it's kind of weird because I don't think it like, I don't know, you think with a mesh system it'd just be like a seamless Wi-Fi signal, but ours doesn't seem to always be that way, you know? So like when I'm switching between them, like going from my room to like the living room all the way across the house, like I have to restart, I have to like turn off and turn back on the Wi-Fi because it's just not working for some reason. But that's pretty much the only problem I've had with it so far, and that's something so minor it barely even matters, honestly. Other than that, it's been, you know, pretty snappy and responsive. The UI's great. Like I've had no problem navigating this device even without the Android 3 buttons at the bottom. I've just been using the swipe controls, and they work perfectly. They're kind of reminiscent of the iPhones. They're not quite there like the iPhone because, you know, Apple's kind of got like that polish on their UI. But I mean, this is also $600 less than the iPhone X, so big difference in cost there. It's only been like 15 minutes. But it's probably better than the 30-minute rambling I went on about the VUM11 the first time I got it. Yeah, that's about all I got for this. Thanks for watching. Sorry you're disappointed.